Good morning. 20 years ago, America found itself under attack. Thousands died as planes crashed into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a field in Pennsylvania. America went numb as terrorists ripped into our buildings, our hearts, and our sense of security. It's a day we'll never forget. And many of us have kids who were born after September 11, 2001, and they don't carry with them the same memories that we carry from that day. And that's one reason why it's so important to stop for every generation and recognize the devastating day that disrupted the country that we love. Every generation needs to know the history and understand the impact that it had on America. The terrorist attacks tested our resilience, revealed our vulnerabilities, and generated a wave of fear and anger that really still lingers with us today. But as America always does, this great country bounced back. We stood together, and we do things differently now to keep us safe. And for the past 18 months, we've been challenged again. This pandemic has killed more than 650,000 people in the United States, and in St. Louis County, 2,400 people have lost their lives. But by coming together again, our kids are back in school and our businesses are fully open. And I'm reminded of the remarks that President Obama made on the 10th anniversary of the terrorist attacks, and they still resonate today. Even the smallest act of service, the simplest act of kindness, is a way to honor the ones we lost and to reclaim that spirit of unity that followed 9/11. So as we honor the lives lost and the work of our first responders in our county, let's work together to reclaim the spirit of unity that's needed right now. Challenges abound. We can overcome any adversity, no matter how substantial it may be, if we work together. So I'm honored to have with me here today Chief Ken Gregory of the St. Louis County Police Department and Maryland Heights Fire District Chief Ken Olshwanger. And we stand here today in the Emergency Operations Center where our emergency service personnel come together from across the county to respond and monitor anything that disrupts our communities or brings together large crowds. That includes natural disasters such as floods or earthquakes or chemical fires like the one that we had last April in Afton. And our first responders watch over large-scale events like the PGA Champs Tour that is currently taking place at Norwood Hills Country Club. And when there is any civil unrest like last summer, our first responders watch over those demonstrating and those observing. We have a great network of first responders here in St. Louis County, and we're all thankful for the work they do to watch over us. So I'd like to now turn the mic over to Chief Ken Gregory. He'll say a few words, and then also Fire Chief Ken Olshwanger.
Good morning. You know, on September the 11th, 2001, this world pretty much came to a standstill after the attacks on Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, and New York during the terrorist attacks. I would imagine that everyone that was here at that time could probably remember where they were on that day, what they were doing, and just could not forget what happened on that day. I remember going home every day, and my wife was at front of the television watching it every day. But we want to take this day, 20 years later, to recognize the sacrifices that first responders made on that day. First responders obviously being police officers, firemen, and paramedics. Recognize the 2,977 people that were killed on that day, with 412 of them being first responders. We want to recognize the sacrifices that they made, the sacrifices that we still make every day in serving our community, protecting our citizens. I can guarantee that those first responders who perished on that day and their families will never, ever be forgotten. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak. It's hard to believe it's been 20 years, and like the gentleman before me, I just want to say that we will never forget That day, the fire service lost 343 firefighters, obviously numerous police officers and Port Authority officials. But the one thing to remember is they saved over 20,000 people that day. And because of their heroism and their sacrifices, people are still able to go to work and enjoy their families, and that should never be forgotten. And as we remember 9/11, watch the documentaries that are going to be on all weekend. See who the faces of the real heroes are. The police, fire, EMS, Port Authority, those were the real heroes, along with the thousands of citizens that also assisted that day in doing heroic things that they never thought they would ever be put in place to do. So again, we will never forget. Thank you to everybody. Please watch the documentaries and learn who the real heroes of America are. Thank you.
Thanks. I'd be glad to answer any questions. Elizabeth, is there anything? Okay, great, thank you.